Once again, thank you all for joining this webinar to give you some information about the Life Discovery Conference Travel Awards and to introduce some folks who are involved with the faculty mentoring networks. So, let me see. Oops, sorry. So as far as the folks that are involved with the program, I'm Teresa Murad. I'm the Director of Education and Diversity Programs at the Ecological Society of America. Gabby Hammerlink, who's a postdoc fellow at QUBES and BioQuest. She will be talking more about the faculty mentoring networks. And then Elizabeth Schulteis and Melissa Kelvik. So Melissa, you'll have to forgive me if I messed up your name. And both of them are postdoc researchers and co-founders of Data Nuggets and based out of the University of Michigan. So we'll be able to answer hopefully all your questions today. Okay. So for today, what we thought we would do is to provide some overview of what the Life Discovery Conference is about. We'll talk a little bit about what QUBES is, what are the faculty mentoring networks, what are data nuggets, and then of course the travel awards themselves and how to apply, and then hopefully we'll have lots of time at the end for question and answer. So as far as webinar tools, I hope you can all see in your dashboard area where you can type any questions in the chat area. We'll try to respond to those, as we go or during the question and answer period. Okay. So in terms of the Life Discovery Conference, this is something that we started back in 2013. It's actually a product of the Life Discovery Partnership. So if you see at the bottom of that slide, there are 4 societies that are kind of behind this whole conference, and we are the Ecological Society of America, Botanical Society of America, Society for Economic Botany, and Society for the Study of Evolution. So this was, we came together in about 2010, 2011 to actually work on the Life Discovery at Digital Library project. And at the end of that, we felt that, we needed to continue working together and encouraging, faculty to discover, digital resources and also to submit to the library to share resources. So that's kind of how the conference sort of initiated, to try to build that kind of community, if you like, among the various societies, and also, to think about how our science is changing and how therefore our practice and our teaching practices might need to change, particularly in view of the digital resources and new technologies that are available to us today. And I hope everybody can hear clearly, and if you have any issues with the technology, please go ahead and type the message in the chat box, but I hope that's not an issue. So. Okay, so, and just to have real quickly kind of share some of the things that we've done in the past. I'm not going to read out all the themes, but you can see, what we've been doing previously. And for this year, we're really excited because the theme is all about data. So, how do you discover it? How do you use data? How do you help your students to investigate with data? And how do you inform decision-making, using data? So we're really excited about this. And in fact, so excited, I guess, that, I asked National Science Foundation if they would be interested in helping to provide some travel awards, and so I was really delighted that they said yes. So that's why we are able to provide this opportunity. And so again, the Life Discovery Conference Planning Committee is made up of members of the 4 partners as well as a couple of high school teachers. So and also this year we have our QUBES partner, Arietta Fleming Davis, who is also on the planning committee. So I'll come back to this in a bit, but I wanted to share with you a couple of comments about, you know, from the participants, and I'm highlighting these because the Life Discovery Conference is a little bit unique. It actually provides some networking time, and we have an education share fair, which is really an opportunity to share your ideas while they're still in development, right? So, you know, we're not looking for polished activities. We're looking for your ideas that, you know, you want some feedback on. So these are the unique features of Life Discovery Conference, in addition to, you know, the regular workshops and presentations and short presentations. Okay, so at this stage, I want to turn it over to Gabby Hammerlink from QUBES, and she will talk to us a little bit more about QUBES and faculty mentoring networks. So I'm going to change presenters and turn this over to Gabby.
Great, thank you, Teresa. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so I wanted to give you just a quick rundown of what faculty mentoring networks are and what QUBES is. So QUBES stands for Quantitative Undergraduate Biology Education and Synthesis, and so it's a mouthful, so I like to call it QUBES. And we do a lot of things, and we offer a lot of items and projects to the quant bio community. And one of the things that we hope is very useful to the community of biology educators are these things called faculty mentoring networks. And they're a unique type of professional development that we offer. So they're long-term but pretty low-intensity commitments where we have a small group of faculty, 10 to 15 typically. That might change for this faculty mentoring network based on the interest. And they're mostly online communities. So this faculty mentoring network in particular will have this in-person component at Life Discovery because Teresa and Life Discovery have worked with NSF to provide this really fantastic travel award opportunity. And this year, or for this faculty mentoring network, we're going to be focusing on data nuggets as our materials, which Liz and Melissa will tell you about in a little bit. So these FMNs are small communities, private workspaces where the faculty participants work together to adapt and implement these curriculum materials in your classrooms. And so we've got some fantastic content mentors in Liz and Melissa, and then you'll also be able to work within this group, so have that really great peer support. And then I'll be serving as the QUBES liaison for the group to help you out navigating the QUBES Hub, which is our online platform, and also providing some pedagogical experience as well. And then typically these faculty mentoring networks meet every other week over several months. And these meetings are not meant to be intimidatingly long. They're typically 30 to 45 minutes online every other week. So that's the general time commitment. And this faculty mentoring network will run from, correct me if I'm wrong, September to November this coming fall. So that will be the time to adapt some data nuggets for your classroom and implement them. Okay, so yep, we've got this long-term support. These are some of the benefits of participating in faculty mentoring networks. A really great community of peers that provide that social support and, you know, just the right amount of peer pressure to adapt and implement some new and exciting curriculum materials into your classroom. And then at the end of the faculty mentoring networks, we encourage participants to share all of their final products with the broader community. So that'll be done in a variety of places on the QUBES Hub and elsewhere. And so we really hope to encourage the whole biology education community to start using these materials more broadly. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of what the scope of the QUBES networks can bring to you. And so this is a map of the last year's faculty mentoring network participants. And so you can see the geographic distribution here. It's pretty impressive. And all of these points are Faculty Mentoring Network participants, and they've been color-coded according to the type of institution that they represent. So we have a really fantastic mix of faculty participants from community colleges, from master's colleges, from R1s, and some faculty from high schools as well. So just to give you an idea of the community that you'll be participating with. So just some quick benefits of participating in the FMNs. You get support for development of these pedagogical materials, really focused on bringing this real, authentic research data into your classrooms. And then working with some really great mentors, and Liz and Melissa, and also with your peers to talk about pedagogical tips and things that you've been doing in your classroom already, and getting some feedback on that, and working with this small, tight-knit community. And also, you'll be recognized as an education scholar upon completion of all of the requirements. And so I provided a link here. We'll share these slides on the QUBES website after the webinar is done. But this is just a quick link to some of our past ESA education scholars from past QUBES and ESA faculty mentoring networks. And so we have some basic expectations. Just wanted to lay these out for you quickly. Any accepted participants are expected to participate in the full faculty mentoring network from September to November, implement at least 2 of the selected data nugget modules in your courses in the fall, and we have a list of the selected data nuggets available on the QUBES Hub, which I'll share a link to that in a second. And then when you're done, we really want to encourage you to share those adapted materials on the QUBES Hub, and they'll be linked much broader as well. And those adapted materials also include your teacher notes, which we found to be extremely beneficial to the broader community, and any other sorts of classroom materials that you've used. So here is that link to the QUBES Hub website. If you haven't already explored there, I would highly encourage you to do so. It has a list of the data nuggets that we've selected for you to work with in this faculty mentoring network, and it also has links out to the Life Discovery page, which has the application. And we wanted to remind you that the application deadline is July 10th, so it's coming up fairly quickly, especially considering the holiday weekend coming up here. And then I'd like to give a shameless plug for QUBES and encourage you to sign up for the QUBES newsletter to stay abreast of any other upcoming opportunities. And that's all I've got. So if there are questions, feel free to type them into the chat window, and we'll also have a question and answer session afterwards. But I'd like to pass it off to Liz and Melissa.
Okay, so let's see, I'm gonna bring up the slides and then show the screen. Okay. Let me see, hold on one sec. Sorry. The dashboard is hiding my view here. Okay, here we go.
You can hit F5, Teresa.
Okay, I got it. Okay. All right, so Melissa and Liz of Data Nuggets.
So we'll just do a quick introduction. I'm Melissa Chelvick, and I'll be one of the content mentors for the Faculty Mentoring Network. My background, very briefly, is that I got my undergrad in natural resources. I got my PhD dissertation, was focused more on behavioral ecology in bluegill sunfish, and now I'm a postdoc working on the Data Nuggets project full-time.
And I'm Liz Schulteis. My background and my PhD was in plant biology and on invasive species. And both Melissa and I have been working with K-12 teachers for many years, and you'll hear that Data Nuggets were a resource originally inspired by them. They basically shared with us that they were looking for materials that they could use in their classroom to help expose their students to contemporary research and data. And because we both have our backgrounds in biology and science, we thought this would be a great way for us to share our research with a broad audience. And since then, it's just grown beyond us and beyond those original teachers that we have been working with. Okay, next slide, Teresa. And actually, you can just toggle through to reveal all the bullet points there. Thanks. Okay, so just to give you all some information about what data nuggets are, the whole set of data nuggets can be found at datanuggets.org, but again, we have the subset of the ones we'd like to focus on in the Faculty Mentoring Network available on QUBES. And all data nuggets are free activities, and they all focus on a real, authentic data set from contemporary research, and they're adapted to bring this data into the classroom. And in some ways, we simplify or summarize the data so that students can utilize it more effectively, but we still like to leave in all the messiness and complexity that is a feature of real science data sets. So we don't kind of hide the true process of science that goes on behind a research project. We throw students into that environment so that they get exposed to really what research looks like. And the data nugget template basically is similar for each activity, but this allows teachers and faculty to really customize them to their classroom and adapt them for the needs of their students. So if you go through an entire data nugget, students are exposed to that entire process of science, but you can really stop and emphasize any step along that process. And we've heard from high school and middle school teachers that they take about 30 to 60 minutes to go through, but again, if you really adapt it to your classroom, it can be as short or long of an activity as you like. Okay, next. So to share again a little bit of the background of where data nuggets came from, Melissa and I were working with K-12 teachers. They reported that their students who were performing inquiry projects, so asking their own scientific questions, were getting kind of stuck along the way, that they had never really been exposed to research beyond that was represented in like textbooks, kind of this more simplified process. And so when it came time to asking their own questions, they were struggling. And then they would collect data from these inquiry projects. It would be messy. It would not follow their hypotheses or predictions. And so students were left with the impression that they had done something wrong in science. And we, in Data Nuggets, like to emphasize that, that's kind of how science works, that results aren't exactly what you'd expect all the time. Data is messy. You get unexpected results, but those are really the aspects of science that lead you to ask new questions and launch the creativity in science. Okay, next. The other thing we like to highlight in Data Nuggets is the connection to the researcher behind the data. And this is great for if you as faculty have research that you would like to share with your students in your classroom. It's a great way to give your students a little set of data from your research and really expose them to the other side of your academic career. And then we also have found that sharing the story behind the scientists is a way to engage students with the research, that data isn't just this table or figure that they get in a classroom activity, but the data is a product of the scientists who had these questions about the way the world works, and this research was done to address their questions. Okay, next. We have a table on our website too if you would like to be featured on here. If you end up creating a data nugget of your own, we highlight the scientists behind the research here as well and link to their professional websites and give a little background on their interests. Okay, next.
Okay, at this point, I'd kind of like to talk a little bit about the learning objectives within Data Nuggets. So they were originally developed with K-12 teachers, like Liz said, but I think these learning objectives are very fitting all the way up to undergraduate courses. So the first thing that we really like to emphasize with Data Nuggets is that they can help build students' quantitative skills by working with more contemporary data that's typically found, or that's not typically found in like textbook examples. So this gives them a lot of practice interpreting quantitative information that may have like unclear patterns or results, and having to think through that with more reasoning. And the second learning objective that Liz has kind of mentioned is that we like to integrate a lot of the scientist's story into the data nuggets, and this reveals that science is an active process and allows students to see how we collect data to understand more about the natural world. And hopefully through doing that, students will see science as a more approachable and attainable career themselves. Okay, next slide. So as it's been mentioned before, we've kind of chosen 10 data nuggets that we thought would be really great for use in the undergraduate classroom, but also ones that are appropriate for, you know, upper level high school classes as well. There's some of our newest data nuggets that we haven't formally piloted in classrooms yet, so this is a really great dynamic for us because we can hear more feedback about how these data nuggets play out and how what students think about them. And especially, we haven't focused too much on how data nuggets are used in undergraduate courses. So we're curious to hear more feedback from instructors on how to best adapt them for that environment. So our goals for this faculty mentoring network will be to provide support for you guys as you're using data nuggets in your courses, maybe for the first time. And this will come from both us and from the other peer mentors that are also going to be trying out data nuggets in their classes. And another goal is to just provide an environment for instructors to come together and share these strategies that maybe they use alongside a data nugget, or supplemental activities that maybe they did before they shared a data nugget with their students. So just to have some conversations about how to go about using the resources in the classes. And then on our end, we have a goal to hear everything that you guys are saying and experiencing, and to hopefully provide feedback in the future for other instructors who want to use data nuggets at various levels. So that's kind of a short presentation of what we see happening in this faculty mentoring network within the couple months that we'll be working with you guys this fall. Okay. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the questions box, and we'll cover those as they come up.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Liz and Melissa. All right, so on the next segment, we're going to talk more specifically about the travel awards. And so part of the reason that we're providing this opportunity, and that NSF is interested in this, in providing the support, is to increase the diversity of participants and institutions attending the Life Discovery Conference. So, you know, basically, you know, I have the intended audience, if you like, you know, faculty from high schools, community colleges, minority serving institutions, primarily undergraduate institutions, and faculty from underrepresented minority communities from any institution needing travel support can apply for these awards. And of course, you know, part of the objective is to accelerate this implementation of data-rich classrooms all over the country. So that's kind of, you know, a broad goal. And in terms of benefits, again, you know, you are eligible to apply as well for the faculty mentoring networks, which you have been hearing about from Gabby and Liz and Melissa. You don't have to do the faculty mentoring network in order to apply for the travel award, so you can do that independently. But of course, we hope that many of you will take advantage of this opportunity. I think one of the things that we, you know, often see is that you can go to a conference, have great ideas, and then, you know, after that, you're sort of on your own. So through the Faculty Mentoring Network, what we hope to see happen is that you will be supported for a longer period of time, you know, with your peers and mentors and, you know, and our wonderful postdocs who really know their stuff, and, you know, and really get a chance to ask questions along the way specific to your institution, setting, audience, and on how to implement these teaching modules. So we strongly encourage you to apply for both, right? And of course, then, you know, Gabby had a wonderful map of a nationwide community of peers. So all of those folks who have previously participated in a faculty mentoring network have experience, right, with implementing data-rich modules and have gone through all the questions, have gone through all the issues and overcome them. So I think you'll find that by signing up, you know, you will be able to tap into that community as well. So I mentioned earlier with those two quotes, we have the networking opportunities and education roundtable share fair. So again, this is something that you know, you can bring your questions to the community in person, and that's one of the interesting things about this combination of the Life Discovery Conference and the Faculty Mentoring Networks is that the conference sits right in the middle of the Faculty Mentoring Network experience. So Gabby mentioned that the FMN begins in September, so this happens, the Life Discovery Conference is in October, right? So by that time, you know, you would have attempted a few things and, you know, you're ready to kind of get into further details when you come in person. So that's something that we look forward to. We're also looking at offering complimentary one-year online-only memberships to those who have not been members of ESA and BSA. I believe SSE is looking into that possibility as well, but right now I don't know yet. So, you know, stay tuned on that. So, you know, just by applying, you know, you also receive a trial membership. Okay, so what does the award cover? Actually, it basically covers all your travel. So I'm anticipating about $1,000 would be enough to cover the 3 days, you know, because the conference really begins on Friday and ends on Saturday. It's basically a 2 full-day activity. And on Thursday, there are field trips and there's another pre-conference workshop as well that you might be interested in. But the award should be enough to cover, I believe, you know, the registration, hotel, and you know, and in fact, and your flight, of course, if that's necessary. And the conference hotel actually has free breakfast and Wi-Fi included, so you know you've pretty much got your meals taken care of, except for that Saturday evening if you happen to be hanging around. So, so I think we should have enough funding for folks who need the, you know, to be covered fully. So, oops, looks like I have a duplicate slide here. Sorry about that. Oh, and I did add the recognition about the as education scholar. So, when you've completed your requirements. So again, we are giving priority as we accept applications and review applications. We are giving priority to those who are from our intended audiences, for those who are interested in participating in the Faculty Mentoring Network, for those interested in presenting a teaching resource during the Education Share Fair Roundtable, and call for proposals are still open. And of course, for those who are willing to submit a resource to the Live Discovery at Digital Library. So, so those are the things that we will look out for, you know, in the applications. So, right now, I will open it up for questions. Okay, I think the first question is from Deborah Overath. Okay.
I was just having a problem with the slides being a little bit behind, but I did have a question. So, in terms of being willing to participate in the education share part, my husband and I had put together something, and he's actually presented it at ESA. Could I also present it here?
Sure.
At LDC?
Sure, that's not a problem. Yeah. Yeah, it will be a different audience, okay. So no problem.
That would be what I'd be willing to share.
Okay, great.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. Anybody else has a question? Evelyn, I see you have a comment. Let me make you live so you can share your comment. And if you have any questions.
Hi. Hello? Can
Yes,
you
go
hear me?
ahead. Yes.
So my question is, I had an idea. I have a research project with gopher tortoises at the preserve at my university, Florida Atlantic University, and I wanted to develop my own data nugget. Is that a possibility in this faculty mentoring group?
This is Gabby talking. We hadn't discussed that possibility. We were thinking of just having all of the participants in the Faculty Mentoring Network adapt and implement these existing modules. We have run faculty mentoring networks in the past where the focus has been on the development piece. I bet we could discuss it and get back to you. I'm not entirely sure what the process is. Liz and Melissa could talk more to that.
Yeah, we are always accepting submissions for data nuggets that people are developing. People just kind of contact us once they are interested and have started the process. If you go to the datanuggets.org website, there's a link that says like for scientists or information on creating your own data nugget. So you can go there and just take a look at the materials on how to get started making a data nugget. Typically, we go through like a lot of revision with the scientists as they develop that material. So sometimes it takes quite a while to actually make the activity itself. Mm-hmm. So like the ones that you would have the opportunity to use in the Faculty Mentoring Network have already, been in development for, let's say, a couple months. But we're always happy to help you make one. So even if we decide it doesn't work out for the Faculty Mentoring Network, we're still happy to work with you on that.
Yeah, I would recommend maybe we keep the Faculty Mentoring Network with the 10-pack that we've chosen, so you could test out 2 of the data nuggets in a class, and then after that, maybe we could work together to put together the data nugget that you had in mind right now based on the research.
Sounds good. Thank you. I do have another question. If I do go through your data nugget website and do work with you people to develop one, do we publish this at any point or no?
They are not published as in, like submitted for peer review. Each of the data nugget activities undergoes, review by some teachers that we work with, and both Melissa and myself. But the way we publish them is we put them up on our website, and each data nugget gets its own page or URL. So if you were going to use them as like broader impacts in a grant proposal, or wanted to share your own individual page that just had your data nugget material on it, we have a link and page all set up for you there. But yeah, besides publishing them on our website and then sharing them through, QUBES Hub and all the other dissemination websites, that's about as far as that goes.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll also say that all of us will be available via email if you have questions that come up after this webinar is concluded. And all of our contact information can be found on the QUBES site and on the Life Discovery site.
I do see a question from Saroj. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So I have used data nuggets last semester, and I've had students who just went on the website and got the teacher instructor material and used those for answers. So I've had to modify the questions. Is there a way that you could, just keep it so that only teachers have access?
This is something we've heard now from a bunch of people. So our original intention of not putting anything behind a password was just to make it really accessible for teachers and faculty, that you wouldn't have to remember some new, password and username and stuff. But now we've heard from a critical mass of people that this has been an issue. So our intention is to put the student copies still accessible as they are, and then just put the teacher copy behind some sort of login.
Sure.
And just Melissa and I curate this website, and we're just not tech people, so I'm still looking into the best way to do that to not make it too complicated for people.
Okay. Okay.
But that, yeah, thank you for the feedback, because we have heard that.
Yeah, I mean,
people.
I ended up changing the questions so that it wasn't exactly the same. The intent ended up being the same, but they couldn't just take it off of the website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the student answers we have in there are also sometimes, you know, they're not written the way we would expect a student to write the answer to the response, so you can sort of catch it really easily when students are cheating.
The exact same terminology, so yeah. I mean, at least you know that they're not doing the critical thinking part, because they're not, and the plagiarism and paraphrasing. So all those issues pop up also.
Yep.
Well,
we've had also some teachers say to their students, like, you know, these are all online. There is the potential that you go on and cheat, but I would know if you were. And
right.
Also, if it's an in-class assignment, there's 60 data nuggets, so the fact that a student would have to have, memorized a bunch of activities, not knowing which one the teacher was going to use, sometimes deters them a little bit. But if it's a homework or take-home anything, we definitely know it's an issue.
Sure. Thank you.
definitely some teachable moments there, huh? Okay. Any other questions?
Teresa, I'd like to add a bit to that response. So part of the goal of the faculty mentoring network structure is to adapt the modules for your classroom, because we understand that you all have different students, you all teach in very different ways, and so part of the goal of the faculty mentoring networks is to provide that community so you can get feedback and you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time that you go to modify the module for your classroom. So you can really build on the work that the rest of the faculty mentoring network is doing, and use some adaptations that somebody else has done for the module. So it does help cut down on the work that has to go into the adaptation, and can hopefully still avoid the pitfalls of having open access to all of these really great data nugget modules.
Absolutely.
Are there any other questions? Okay, if not, like Gabby mentioned, you can contact us after the webinar at any time and ask any questions that you may have. So please don't hesitate to do that. And thank you so much for spending a little under an hour with us. We really appreciate your interest and support, and hope to see all of you apply for these awards and for the Faculty Mentoring Networks. And I thank my partners again from QUBES, Gabby from QUBES, and Melissa and Liz from Data Nuggets. So look forward to working with all of you, and hope to see you all at Life Discovery Conference. Thank you.